I'm highly educated. I went to the Wharton School of Finance.
I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I went to the Wharton School of Finance.
I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I was a very fine student.
I went to a great school, business school. The Wharton School of Finance, a great school. Going to that school is like going to the Wharton School of Finance. They didn't go to the Wharton School of Finance. I've also heard I was first in my class at the Wharton School of Finance. And sometimes when you hear it, you don't say anything. You just let it go. She went to the Wharton School of Finance, and she was always a great student. I said, Ivanka, you going to do your homework? Yeah, I've already done it, Dad. And then she get A's.
But the Washington Post, they did a deep dive into his academic career, and it is not nearly as impressive as Trump would make it sound.
Donald Trump has told the American people for 57 years that he graduated first in his class at the Wharton School of Business in 1968, and he has said it with the kind of certainty that makes you think he must have the diploma framed somewhere with #1 written across the top in gold leaf.
Cohen told Congress that Trump ordered him to threaten his high school to never release his grades. We all assume he failed everything. Did they invent an easy class for him or something? Okay, Donald, welcome back to our special science course, Rock or Not a Rock.
He has said it at rallies, in interviews, in books, on television, and the reason he can say it with such confidence is because he made a calculation in 1968 that turned out to be correct for 57 years. He bet that nobody would ever check. And for 57 years, that bet paid off because the records are not public. Wharton does not release class rankings, and the only people who know where Donald Trump actually finished are the people who were there in May of 1968 when every graduate received a copy of the official rankings. And one of those people kept his copy.
And the demand came just days after Donald Trump challenged President Barack Obama to show his records. This happens over and over again. Everything Trump accuses other people of, he's guilty of himself. Oh my God!
Trump's roommate from junior and senior year, the man who lived in the same dorm room, studied for the same exams, walked across the same stage, kept the official Wharton School class of 1968 rankings that every graduate received. Trump's name appears on page 9. He finished 147th out of 362 graduates.
Apparently Trump's friends, who were alumni of the school and rich guys, they wanted the school superintendent to give them Trump's records. Now the superintendent said no. He moved them elsewhere on campus. Now declines to say where he hid Trump's records. Who knows what treasures it might contain? His SATs, maybe even his 10th grade essay, Who I Did on My Summer Vacation.
Which means he was not first in his class, not in the top 10, not in the top 50, not even in the top 100. He was in the bottom half, and his roommate kept that document for 57 years because of something Trump said to him the night before graduation. Trump looked at the rankings list, saw his own name on page 9 next to the number 147, and said to his roommate, "Nobody will ever check this. You know that, right? I can say anything I want about where I finished, and nobody will ever go looking."
He was wasting his time. I'm not undermining. I think I'm actually strengthening authority.
To thank him for all that strengthening of authority, Tillerson called him a moron. This morning, Donald Trump had an answer for that too.
I think it's fake news, but if he did that, I guess we'll have to compare IQ tests, and I can tell you who is going to win.
We have the results of their IQ test right here. Tillerson scored a 120. It's above average, not genius, but still pretty good. And we have Donald Trump's results right here. It's a drawing of a big truck that says MAGA. And there's Trump right there.
If you grew up in an era when a man's word meant something because his reputation depended on it, when Walter Cronkite could end a broadcast by saying, "And that's the way it is," and nobody questioned whether he had checked his facts, then you already understood what Trump's roommate understood in 1968, which is that a man who lies about something nobody can verify will eventually lie about everything. The rankings list shows exactly who finished above Trump and exactly who finished below him. On page 8, right above Trump's name, the students who ranked in the 130s and 140s, and on page 9, right below Trump's name, the students who finished in the 150s and 160s. Trump was sandwiched between a student named Troutman, who finished 146th, and a student named Tucker, who finished 148th. Everyone around him understood they had done fine, but not great, that they had earned a degree from a prestigious school, but had not set the world on fire academically. Everyone understood that except Donald Trump, who walked away from Wharton and started telling people he finished first. Quick. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the button, 2 seconds. Already subscribed, you are the reason this exists. Back to page 9. The roommate never went public with the rankings because he assumed someone else would eventually check. that some journalist or researcher would get access to the records and expose the lie. But nobody did, because Wharton does not release those records. And the only copies that exist are sitting in the drawers and attics of 362 graduates who are now in their late 70s, most of whom have no idea that one of their classmates has been lying about where he finished for 57 years. And so the lie continued, and Trump kept saying it. And every time he said it, the roommate would think about that night in the dorm room when Trump said nobody would ever check. And the roommate would realize that Trump had been right all along. The document itself is exactly what you would expect from 1968. Simple typed pages, no fancy formatting, just a list of names in alphabetical order within each ranking bracket. Page 1 has the top 10 students. Page 9 has Donald Trump, 147th out of 362, sandwiched between Troutman and Tucker, two names the roommate remembers clearly because they are right next to Trump's name on a piece of paper he has looked at dozens of times over 57 years. And page 9 is not the page you brag about. It is not the page that makes you tell people for the rest of your life that you were the best student at the best business school. Page 9 is the page that makes you shut up about your class, ranking and hope nobody ever asks. But Trump did not shut up. He did the opposite. He turned 147th into first and said it so many times with so much confidence that people just started believing him. He was not remembering his ranking. He was improving it, and for 57 years it worked. A genius with a first place ranking does not hide the ranking. A genius who hides the ranking is not hiding genius. He is hiding page 9. Subscribe to the narrative brief. We find the page number that is the whole job. The patterns repeat. We slow them down.